Welcome back, conspiracy theorists. We had another amazing coincidence in the world of professional sports yesterday, November 5th, 2022. I love that word phrase. That's my new catchphrase. Because for those of you that don't know, I'm from Pittsburgh. And back on January 28th, we had a bridge collapse the same day Joe Biden was scheduled to speak in Pittsburgh about infrastructure. And CNN's front page headline was titled, What a Coincidence! What an amazing coincidence, in reference to the bridge collapse. So without further ado, let's get to the other end of the state in Philadelphia. And, I had this thought after game 3 of the World Series that whoever went up 3-2 would close out the World Series on November 5th, 4-2. And I don't know a whole hell of a lot about Major League Baseball. If you followed this channel for any extended period of time, I'm really a hockey guy when it comes to decoding sports. That's the sport I know the most about. And boy, did the Flyers indicate that the Phillies were going down tonight. So what I said on Patreon November 4th, that before the game was played, again, if you're interested in the Patreon, that's where we decode rig sports. That link will be in the description if you're interested in signing up for that. But I go on here and I say, I like Houston to win. My pick is Houston. And the reason why is because the Phillies were in their 57th road playoff game all time. They entered the game with a 26-30 record. Houston sums to 31 and World Series sums to 31. If you don't know what that means, it's the language of gematria. It comes from Kabbalah. It has the belief that God created the world with letters, numbers, and words. And it's very important to the Jesuit order who control the world of rig sports, such as Major League Baseball and the National Hockey League. We talk about 4 base ciphers: the alphabetic order, the reverse alphabetic order, and the alphabetic order with the reverse and with the rules of numerology. So any word, phrase, or letter will have a numerical value attached to it, in other words. Now, Astros superfan Mattress Mac, his name is Jim McIngville, whose name sums to 118, go figure. He was born on the 42nd day of the year, and he throws out the pitch for Game 6. So it's like, how are the Astros not closing it out 4-2? Come on, man. But anyway, the reason after game 3, the reason I thought it would end in game 6 was because I looked ahead and I said, I wonder who the Flyers, if they're playing that day. And lo and behold, they were. And the Flyers were playing the Ottawa Senators. And I was like, oh my God, look at that. The Flyers are absolutely going to win this game. They're going to get their 118th points against the Senators all time. The same day, either the Phillies or the Astros will close out the World Series. And once it was the Astros that went ahead of the Phillies 3-2, we said, okay, Houston, they're going to win it and they're going to close it out. Because not only did the Flyers get their 118th points all time, they also got their 51st all-time win, and Houston Astros is 51. Flyers get their 51st win and 118th points over the Senators, when in the 118th World Series, the Philadelphia Phillies go down to the Houston Astros, who sum to 51. I mean, truly, you couldn't have scripted it any better. That's why the announcers blurt that out every game. I'm sure if you watch this, they probably said it at some point. So there it is right there. Phillies getting their 31st loss in their 57th game. Houston 31, World Series 57. This is the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, if the Z is 26. When you get the J, the 10th letter, it becomes 1, because 1 plus 0 is 1. K, the 11th letter, 1 plus 1 is 2. L, the 12th letter, 1 plus 2 is 3, and so on. So Mattress Mac, it's interesting that he supposedly won a $75 million bet, the largest win in sports betting history. Houston Astros sums to 75. That's hilarious. The biggest win I'm aware of in the gematria community was back in 2017 when we said why the Vegas Golden Knights would advance to the Stanley Cup in the 101st season of the NHL, becoming the first expansion team in 51 years to reach the final when they won 51 games during the regular season. And the Vegas shooting happened on 10/1 right before the start of the 101st season of the NHL. There was a guy in Utah that drove 4 hours to Vegas and placed a bet and won over $300,000 on that. Because, of course, Vegas was paying 150 to 1. But anyway, there it is. Jim McIngvale. His name sums to 118 when you run the alphabetic order, right? J the 10th letter, I the 9th, M the 13th, M the 13th, C the 3rd, I the 9th, N the 14th, G the 7th, V the 22nd, A the 1st, L the 12th, E the 5th, right? Added up 118. If you can do basic arithmetic, you can do gematria. So again, he's born February 11th. That's the 42nd day of the year. He throws out the first pitch the night before the Astros close out the series 4-2. Go figure. So the Flyers, right? And notice Ottawa fell to 4-7 in this game. Ottawa Senators sums to 47. That's a big boss number. They're the only team in the NHL that does. But notice, this is what I said after Game 3 of the World Series. Well, I didn't say it. I looked at it. In fact, there was a guy on my Patreon page who emailed me and said, what do you think about your thoughts on the World Series and this and that? I said, well, it's probably ending on November 5th, Game 6, because it looks like the Flyers are getting that 51st win against the Senators and their 118th points the same day that the Astros are playing the Phillies with a chance to clinch the World Series. So. And it made perfect sense because when you run the alphabetic order, Houston Astros and National Hockey League both sum to 204. So how in the National Hockey League are the Phillies or the Flyers not getting their 51st win against the Senators all time? So on StatMuse, you can type it in. StatMuse is always really nice. They get it updated in plenty of time. Notice the Flyers, 51-36, 8-8 record all time. There it is right there. 118th points against Ottawa, 51st win. If you don't know how points work in the NHL, you get 2 points for a win, 8 for a tie. Ties no longer exist in the NHL. And then you get a point for the 8 overtime losses. So that would be 102 plus 8 plus 8. And trust me, that does equal. You know what? I'll even do the math for you. There's a lot of coincidence theorists out there. Let's just do the math. Let's take 102 plus 18. Or not plus 18. Goodness gracious. 102 plus 8 plus 8. Sums to 118. See that? And this was the 118th World Series. I can promise you that. So if you watch this video I put out earlier today about the Bruins signing the fictional white supremacist Mitchell Miller, you would have seen why the Toronto Maple Leafs were going to beat the Boston Bruins tonight and improve to fall to 10-2 on the season. And I'm so glad that I'm getting comments like this again. This guy says I don't have any moral and that I'm a moron. Basically saying that I'm a white supremacist. And, for you guys, I'll tell you guys how much of a white supremacist I am and how much of a racist I am. Back when I was in high school working at McDonald's in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania, home to Slippery Rock University, we used to do a lot of partying at the Heights over there. Good times. But I'm so racist that I met this girl and I thought she was very beautiful. And she happened to be a black girl. And we became really good friends. And we were both virgins at the time. And I hooked up with her and lost my virginity to a black woman. I hooked up with a beautiful black woman being a white man. That's how racist I am. Because if you're a white supremacist, clearly you're going to hook up with black girls. I think that's been proven throughout history. So this guy right here, it always disappoints me when people don't leave comments the proper way, because I am a professional writer. I do write for Pennsylvania Football News. Now, this guy who writes this comment, he goes, again, if you're going to insult me, you can do that. That's fine. I just ask that you do it properly. That's all. If you're going to insult me, please take the time to do it properly. Show some respect. So he goes, just a question. When you were 14, did you force a disabled child to consume a random person's piss? No, I didn't, actually. And there's no proof that this guy did either, because that's just what the mainstream media is telling you and nitwits on Twitter who have pronouns in their bio. And he says, or did you have the common sense to not be a fucking nitwit? I actually did have the common sense to not be a nitwit. In fact, the longtime members of this channel know that one of my favorite quotes out there is, common sense is the most uncommon thing. And then he goes on to say, and yes, it did happen. He pleaded guilty in court, as told to you by the mainstream media that lies to you every day through the television. Now, by this logic, I could also say that, Spider-Man is also real because I've seen him on TV. So are unicorns. So is Batman. There's a lot of things on TV, by the way, and so that argument really doesn't make any sense. Now, I corrected him here. I said, for those of you that don't know, when you write, it's always good to capitalize the first letter of a sentence. It shows not only that you know proper grammar, but that you're also intelligent. So you want to, again, always capitalize the first letter of a sentence. And this guy, well, he doesn't know how to do that, apparently. He's not, he's likely from that, younger estrogen-laced generation, Gen Z. And then he goes on here again. I had to fix it again. He did not capitalize the first letter of a sentence. Also, you should never start two consecutive sentences with the same word. It's not a good look. Again, it doesn't show very good grammar. You want to up your vocabulary, in other words. Then he starts a sentence with the word "and." Now, I know grammatically it is correct to start a sentence with the word "and," but again, you don't actually want to do that, because if you do that, then you starting every sentence with the word "and." It's not a good look. So I had to fix it for him, because again, and the reason I fixed it for him is because I say all you have to do is insult me, just do it properly. And again, it is good to receive these comments again, because of course it shows that you're at least reaching new people, which is good. Now this guy right here, this person who goes by the name Boss Bill 88, this guy, number one, he did not he also failed to capitalize the first letter of a sentence. And not only that, but he didn't even put a period at the end. For those of you that also are struggling with this, you always want to capitalize the first letter of a sentence and end it with a period. And he's also missing a comma in there, but we won't embarrass him too much. So again, congratulations to the people that did win on this. Got a couple games in play for the NFL tomorrow. I will talk to everybody soon. Until next time.